I am going to be changing out the CMOS battery in a Sabertooth Z77 motherboard. Pretty simple. Start by taking this little fan out. So you have to unhook the fan here off the motherboard, and there's a screw here. You unscrew that and it just lifts out and has a little fan in here, little cushion on the bottom. Okay, and then this fan here, same thing, 3-pin fan header right here. And you gotta unscrew these 3 screws here. You got to do all that because you need to take this cover off. Then it put like a little screw cover over it where you can just unscrew a little cover and then change that battery out. Okay, and then you can remove these 2 little covers. Stays right here. And then you flip it over. And you have a screw here, 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 and here. So you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws that need to come out. I had this off here once already and I lightly cleaned it, and I didn't even think about checking the CMOS. The CMOS battery. Okay, that's the cover. Just comes right off. You seem to miss a little dust right here. This is just a cover. You actually really don't need it unless it does help, obviously, for the fans to pull air over heat sinks, and seems to do a pretty decent job. The fans ain't loud from what I can tell. I do want to check it too to see if it actually is bad. Yeah, see? You see that? Let's see. Yeah, you can see that, okay? Yeah. It's completely bad. Like, yeah, that's the worst I ever seen one. That's completely bad. So, off that. going in. Yeah, well, I guess I can show this. See, that's the cables. You still see it? Yeah, you can see it. Okay. So, see that? 3.3 volts. The other one wasn't even showing 1 volt. There's that. Let's kind of move this stuff out of the way. This is video out. And just knock everything else off. Okay, so I'm going to grab a stock cooler. Never mind on that. No stock cooler because these freaking things are on here probably pretty tight. I was gonna boot it up, but I forgot that this still has a mouthpiece on it for the liquid cooler. On the back is pretty tight. See, I don't have that tool out. Okay. This is actually the cooler I've been running it with. So, has some RGB fans. There's a controller here. Seems to do pretty well. Testing it with like Asus 64, running Cinebench R23 a couple times in a row. I think like 3 times. Temperature stable out with that cooler about 50, in the high 50s. See? Pretty clean motherboard. Still even has this little plastic piece so we on the heatsink here. So on this board you have, this is a CPU, this is the fan, you know, it goes here. Then you got case fan, CPU optional fan, CPU fan. And then you got a reset. You can set this to reset the memory speeds. This button here. Another case fan. This is labeled case fan 2. And this one actually labels case fan 3. And then you got the fan header here that runs a secondary little fan. The fan just goes onto here. Okay. The CMOS battery, which is weird. Why they didn't put a cover over here for you can get into that. Anything else special? Not really special. You know, the USB headers. And over here you got your SATAs. There's 8 SATA ports right here, but they're labeled. These ones here are SATA 6. These are SATA 3, 3, And these ones here, SATA 6. Huh, okay. So this is SATA 6 here, and these are the slower speeds. It's a USB 3.0 header for the for the case. I don't see really anything else too much about this board. It's a really nice board. CMOS, you know, the reset right here. Clean little board. I'd probably be fine running it just like this. But the shell case looks pretty nice. Another thing I did notice, it says, I guess I gotta look and see if you can see it. A little focus. I angle it right and hit that. This right here says USB 2.0, you know, and then shows a little picture of a mouse and a keyboard here. So these two here is where this motherboard wants you to hook your keyboard and mouse up to. But it's not labeled like that on the USB header. That's what's kind of weird about this board. And I took the first apart the first time. It's like everything's labeled in here, but they don't label nothing on the back. Okay? Yeah, they label nothing on the IO shield for you to see, like, this is for your mouse and keyboard. Same thing with, like, you know, DIMM slots. Since I'm filling them all up, it doesn't really matter, you know? Even if you didn't know what ones to put, even if it didn't matter what ones to fill, if you're filling them all, then it doesn't matter what placement, because they're all full. You just this cover back on, which is just the opposite way. So you set this here, and the case I have this in now is a Thermaltake X, I think it's X5 tempered glass edition. So it has tempered glass on both sides in the case. The motherboard actually sits in here like this. So let's go ahead and put these back on. So I reverse first, and then I put it in, and I'm not going to tighten it all the way. So I have on this board is an i7 3770K, and then on my media PC slash gaming computer, that is just an office. In that case, it's just an office grade motherboard in it from HP, and it has a i7 4790 non-K. The 4790 outperforms it, this CPU, in benchmarks. So it beats this. I'm not overclocking it, so just out of box, the 4790 outperforms this CPU. But in gaming, this CPU does a slight better. Okay, and I'm using a AMD 5700 XT to compare both of them. So in games, this board and CPU outperforms the HP board that has an i7 4790 on it. But if you just went off of benchmarks for CPU performance, you're like, oh, this CPU outperforms this one. Yeah, benchmarks. Not overclocking this CPU actually loses to the 4790. And the other thing I like about this board, yeah, it's, you know, it's an older board, but I think in gaming wise, maybe what's helping this out is the fact that the HP board won't let me like change XMP profile of my memory. So when I go, you know, when it's running, even with the same RAM, right? Well, the HP board only has 2 DIMM slots, so I only can run like 16 gigs in that. But you know, I can run 32 in this. The RAM is rated to run at 1600. In the HP board, I only could get that RAM would only run at won't run at 1600. Will only run at 1333. And I have two different kits, and they both are 1600, and they both run 1600 in here. But on the HP board, they both run at 1333, no matter if I change them out or not. But I think it's this set right here. That's only 8. These are only 4 gig modules, and this is 1600. This RAM or the two or the same style RAM as this, I have another set of 2 gigs. Either one of them 2 sets will run at 1600 on that board. It just, on that HP board, it just doesn't want to run my two different kits of 8 gigs on that board at 13. But it will run 2 4 gig sticks at 1600, or the 2 2 gig sticks at 1600. So I don't know if I want to run, to get it to run at 1600, I need to just get some, you know, some RAM that's only has 1600 as the speed, you know, like some regular OEM memory that's gonna make, you know, gonna have it run at that. I guess I can quickly just kind of power this up, you know, quickly. It has HDMI out. Or I can just, let's see if I can actually put this in here, kind of. No. No. Let's do this. At least it has something on here. The CPU fan. The monitor on. Grab this power supply. This is a power supply that's supposed to go on my machine. I just have it. It's 650 watt, 80 plus gold rated. Yeah, pretty good power supply. My test power supply, that 400 watt, that probably has maybe a couple hours on it. Decided to stop working. Had it plugged in on an old Dell motherboard that just has a Pentium on it. And I did notice some weird noises. I was like, what is that weird noises? Like, okay, I don't know what that is. But I didn't think it was a power supply because the system wasn't even on. Then I go to, you know, the next day I go to power system on and the fans just spin up. Okay. It actually did that once before. Like, let's just throw this random line. So it actually did that once before, but I didn't think nothing of it. Yeah, I didn't think nothing of it because it did it like once before. I was like, oh, that's probably. I didn't really think nothing about it. Okay, fan turned on. And let's take this off. The glare is taking it away. So here you go. It's showing, you know, there's the specs. i7 3770K. 8 gigs because I just put the two 4 gig sticks in it. 1600. There's that. F1 for setup. Oh, I hate this freaking tray deal. It just slides right back in on you so easily. Okay, you get this little message here. And there you go. See, yeah, this is a RAM that just defaults out at 1600. You don't have to change it. When I put the other RAM in, it defaults at 1333. This is the RAM that will run in HP at 1600. So i7 is running at this. You can, you know, obviously overclock it. Yeah. Here's this video of me changing a bad CMOS battery on a Sabertooth Z77 motherboard that has an i7 3770K. You see there's the fans running, and here, yeah, like I said, here's the power supply that's supposed to go on my machine. A 650 80 plus gold. Okay, there's this video. I'll probably do another one of actually throwing the system back together. Thank you for watching.